Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about expectations for Jahan Dotson entering his second season with the Washington Commanders. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. Also check out Man to Sleep, link in the description. So as you guys know, the Washington Commanders drafted wide receiver Jahan Dotson out of Penn State with the 16th pick in the first round of the 2022 NFL draft. And overall, he had a really decent rookie year for the Washington Commanders. 5'11", 23 years old, 182 pounds. And in 2022, he had 35 catches for 523 yards and an amazing 7 touchdowns, I believe, in 12 games. I believe that's what it was. Yeah, 12 games. So obviously, if he would have played 17 games, he would have gotten, way more yards. Also, they were, especially when he came back, they were like very reluctant to give him the ball. He to target him. He had, fewer snaps, and they were running the ball so much at the, middle to the end of the season that he was not getting that many targets until maybe the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. Like if we look game to game, start out really, really good, 40 yards and 2 touchdowns, 60 yards and a touchdown. Eagles game was a little bit bad, but everyone was bad in that game. 10 yards, then 43 yards and a touchdown, then misses 5 games, then comes back and just these 3 games right here, they just barely give him the ball, and that really messed up his stats in my opinion. 1 catch for 14, 1 catch for 13, and then no catches at all in the Falcons game, and then from weeks 13 to week 18, he started kind of balling out. 54 yards and a touchdown, 105 yards and a touchdown, 76 yards and a touchdown. Also dropped a would-be 75-yard touchdown, and then 37 and then 72. So if you take week 13 to week 18 and weeks 1 through 4, those are amazing numbers. It's just the missing these games right here and the weeks 10 through 12 that really messed him up. And I did do I did some calculations, I think, when the season was over, and his 17 game stats were, and just real explanation, these would have been his stats if he played 17 games. So I averaged his stats out per game and then multiplied it by 17 to just estimate what it would have been. And it would have been 741 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 50 catches. And I've said this was in a run-heavy offense, and with him barely getting targeted for the first couple games after injury. And so, yeah. And if you take into account those numbers, 740 yards and 10 touchdowns with not good quarterback play, that's really solid for a rookie. The touchdown numbers are incredible. You would like the yards to be a little bit up, but it's not bad for a rookie at all. And if he didn't miss those games, obviously that improves his yards numbers up to this. But if in those 3 games of him, after coming back, if they would have actually targeted him a little bit more, that could have been to 800, 820 with 11 touchdowns. And then you add in some good quarterback play, and you're getting close to 900, 950 with 12 or 13 touchdowns. So that's kind of the background on Jahan and what his season was last year, how he played. Now let's get into a little bit of, what are expectations for him in year 2? I still think he's the number 2 receiver on this team. I know last year there was buzz in the offseason about, Jahan's the best receiver on this team. Players think that or whatever. I said that right away. That's a bunch of BS. Terry's the best receiver, probably best player on this team. And until Jahan proves he's better, we just can't say that he's better than Terry. It's, that was just crazy talk. But still, I think he has the talent to potentially be better than Terry. But also, Terry's got 1,000 yards, the last 4 years, 3 years, with, awful quarterback play. I'm trying to think, 2020, 2021, 2022. So 3 seasons with over 1,000 yards with just bad quarterback play. And, if this year with good QB play, or even okay to below average QB play, I can get you 1,300. I mean, he was 9 yards away from 1,200 this past year with terrible QB play, and if he would have caught that pass, perfectly thrown ball by Sam Howell in Week 18 against the Cowboys, he would have been to 1,200, but that's besides the point. He's still the number 1 receiver. He's going to get all the attention. But Jahan should be the number 2, and for me, he needs to be close to 1,000 yards this year. If he plays 17 games, or if he, and again, hopefully it doesn't happen, knock on wood, if he gets injured, I need those splits to be like, turn out to be, okay, if he would have played 17, it would have been, 1,000 yards. That's what I need it to be. So let's say he plays like 15, 16 games, and it's like, whatever, 950, but if he would have played those extra 2 games, he'd have gone to 1,000. Okay, that's good. So for me, what I think would be a successful season for Jahan is over 1,000 yards and over 5 touchdowns. The 10 touchdowns he had or 7 touchdowns he had in those limited games, it's hard to, replicate that, but I still think he can be a red zone threat and get you 5, 6, 7 plus touchdowns this season, and then just increase those yards up a little bit, and I think that'll work. I mean, him and Sam Howell clearly had a good connection in those, in that Cowboys game. Howell was hitting him a lot, and I think, not a lot, but like he was hitting him in stride, and it looked like it was really working. And I think Dotson is going to have a really good year. I mean, the route running is amazing. His release is good, and his hands are pretty good. He did one thing I do want to say. For the most part, he had a really good season in terms of catching the football. But there were a few, and everyone's going to have some, but I think him more than others in terms of like, he was supposed to have amazing hands, and he does have really good hand. But there were a few last year where I was like, okay, you got to come down with that. And I think he dropped one he should have had in OTAs, and Eric Bieniemy got on him, and then after that, he really stepped up. So that's one thing I want to see him improve on this year is, okay, yeah, that's going to be a difficult catch, but you got to make that catch. Like, there was a few last year where I was like, okay, you got to make that. Not saying he didn't have a good rookie year, because he did, and I'm really, really excited about what he can do this year, because I think he can be, over 1,000-yard receiver, and in year 3, I think he can be a Pro Bowler. And let's see, Field Yates, NFL, and analyst for ESPN, says Jahan Dotson is extremely talented and could have 1,000 or 1,200 yards receiving this season. You know what? I think it could happen, but I'm not predicting it. So my predictions, this is early. I'll go, I don't know what the catches would be. I mean, we might have to whip out a calculator, but I think it'll be around 1,000. Like, let's say 60 catches. I will go 70 catches for 1,050 yards and 7 touchdowns. If he has that type of season, very successful season, very good season for a number 2 receiver, and your expectations for him into year 3 are even higher. You're like, okay, this guy, year 3, Pro Bowl type season, like 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns type of season. And I think he can get to that. And then you're talking about one of the best, wide receiver duos in the NFL. I mean, probably behind like the Bengals and the Dolphins, because they've got Hill and Waddle, and then they've got Higgins and Chase. But after that, I know I'm missing someone. I mean, the Bucs got Godwin and Evans, but I think if Dotson turns into what we think he could, turn into, he'll probably be better than that duo, and then especially at this point in their careers. But I mean, this receiving core, I'm excited for, because we didn't even talk about Curtis Samuel in this video. That's for another video, but he adds another element to this team. Then you got De'Ami Brown, you got some other guys as well that really could, potentially do something if they get some playing time. But I do want to see what De'Ami can do. But yeah, excited for Jahan. Again, expectations for him are around 1,000. If he goes 940, 950, will I be super, super happy about it? No, but that's still really solid. If he's below 900, that's when I'm like, okay, bro, that's disappointing in your second season in, hopefully a better offense, better QBs as a second option, first round pick. I would hope you do more than that. So anything for me under 900 is pretty disappointing. Anything under 800, I'm very, very disappointed. But we'll see. I'm excited for him. I think he's going to get over 1,000 yards, potentially get close to 1,100. Yeah. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.